Hey, it's Kimberly with Celestial Juju. Oh, did I turn on my recorder? It's Kimberly with Celestial Juju. So I want to talk to you all about this Mars and Venus square on top of this full moon energy that's coming in. Okay, what is today? Let me tell you, I can already feel the energy. Once a year, Mars squares Venus. Okay. And Mars is in Gemini right now, communication, and Venus is exalted in Pisces. Okay. So I'm going to tell you about what happened to me in the chili bean aisle. Yeah, the chili bean aisle at the grocery store. So I just went to go get some chili beans. So I'm in the chili bean aisle, and this gentleman standing beside me says, "Are you looking for chili beans?" And I was like, "Yes, I am." Well, I found chili beans, and this is the best price out of all the chili beans. And they haven't had chili beans for over 2 weeks. And right here they are. And they have them in hot and mild, spicy. They're all right here. And I was like, "Well, thank you so much. Thank you for showing me." And he showed me which one had the best price because he had already checked them out. So this man was being totally helpful. He was excited with his passion about the chili beans to share this information with me. Okay. So we're having a chili bean discussion about how we're going to cook our chili. And there was a woman standing behind us on the other side and, down a little bit, just a little bit, just a foot or so. She's probably 4 feet away from him. And I was probably 3 or 4 feet, but in the line with him. And, he stepped over to me. Oh, honey, let me tell you, that hen thought there was another hen in her hen house. And she thought I must have wanted more than chili beans, or that I wanted his chili beans. I'm not sure. But she come in there, yeah, like a wet hen, and that there was another hen in her rooster house, okay? And I mean, like, between us, and then let him know that she was not going to use chili beans because she was going to use her mother's recipe, and that she was going to use the kidney beans, and for him to put those chili beans down now. Okay. So here I was being my Venus ruled self, with my Libra sun and my Taurus moon, with all of this um Venus being exalted in Pisces. So, of course, he was going to exalt me. Why else would he not? And his Mars was going to communicate with me and be helpful in his information. He was in service to me at the time. Okay. So, when it's balanced like that, and there was no agenda between me and him except finding chili beans, we were both, in our hunter and huntress mission to find the chili beans, then that's when it's in balance and there's no attachment to it and there's just engagement and you help each other. Like the energies were in balance. They were balanced, like the Mars and Venus were balanced with each other. And that other energy that came in, man, she was embodying the Mars and the Venus both at the same time. I thought I was going to get scalped before I got out of there because she definitely was letting me know that this was her chili bean domain. So I'm letting you all know because that could be the conflict that you come up against, that you will have random people um deciding that they need to step in and that they need to assert their self, because that whatever's going on with their Mars and Venus, they're going to feel this tension. So there's going to be tension in the air. And then on top of it, we're coming into a full moon in Leo. Okay. We have a full moon in Leo that's shining the light bright on the shadows. So if there's any kind of shadowy energy between the tension and the conflict between Mars and Venus, it's going to show its ass. It's going to show its ass. And then she let me know that she used the triple beam when they couldn't find chili beans, and that they took that chili to their church, And I was like, "Well, thank you very much, honey. That's very Christian of you. Bless your heart." It's like, I'm telling you all, I'm a hermit. I hardly ever get out. And when I get out, I get to experience what's happening in the collective. So I'm letting you all know that be careful in the chili bean aisle because you don't know what might be coming your way. So with that, I'm going to tell you what these transits are for you in your chart and what house is it they're in for you. And this is where your rising sign is. Okay. So your rising sign, it's your cake. Your sun sign is your icing, and your moon is your sprinkles or your chili beans, whichever one. It could be the layers of that. And if you put a little cheese on the top of it, okay, it makes it a whole different recipe. So that's what I'm going to be talking about, and what you're going to look at for yourself, and where that's at. And because I am so the energy that it's going to bring up with this transit is this Mars square to Venus can bring challenging energy to the collective. And the transit can indicate a time of tension and conflict in relationships and finances. Yes, those chili beans were more expensive than normal, and he found the best deal on them. Okay, so it can bring that up in people, and they may struggle to balance their own needs with those of others. See, I just needed chili beans. She was having a hard time balancing that. That's all. And he was just being helpful, leading to difficulties in personal and professional partnerships and strangers in the grocery store aisle. Okay. There may be a need to find balance between assertiveness and the desire for freedom and stability and security in relationships. Maybe he needed a little bit of freedom in the moment. I don't know. He just needed some appreciation because I was very much appreciating him for the fact that he steered me to where the chili beans were. Okay. So this transit can bring up issues in the power dynamics and the imbalances in a relationship. I witnessed that. And there may be a tendency towards impulsive or rash behavior that can further my southern accent can further complicate the matters at the same time. This transit can provide opportunities of growth and learning in the relationship, as well as chances to reassess what's truly important. I didn't have to have the chili bean. I bought the triple beans. They were black beans, pintos, and kidneys. Yeah, I had chili powder at home. I can make my own chili beans, but I thanked him anyway. So sometimes you have to sit back and take it in and make it and decide which direction you're going to go. So it's important for individuals to stay mindful and conscious during this time, focusing on finding the harmonious balance. My triple beans they're the balance between their own needs and the needs of others. Communication, self-reflection, and the willingness to compromise can be the key in navigating the challenges posed in this transit. Okay? So, buckle up, folks. You might want to stay home all weekend. Make your chili and don't go out. Just stay home with your ass on the couch with your chili. Get some cheese to go on the top of it. I'm telling you, because it is a cosmic combo recipe for drama and financial. It can be a financial mess too. Don't spend your money on beans you don't need. Okay. And it also can be a little dash of fun in there. Have fun with it. Have some fun with it. Okay. So we're going to go into this. It's not bad news. It's just, I'm letting you all know it's an opportunity to spice up some things in your life. And if you take that advantage of it, how you're going to spice up the mundane. I added a coriander and cumin to my chili. That's how I spiced it up. And I also put some different kind of peppers. what are those called? The one starts with a P. I never know how to pronounce that one. I put those in it, and I've never done that before, along with some yellow peppers, and it was quite good. Okay, so a sense of humor and open communication will get you through it. Okay, so let's see. Where's my houses at here? I wrote all of this up today. Let's see. Where is did I do with that? Hold on just a second here, and I will tell you. I'm going to start out because I am Scorpio rising, so I'm actually going to start out with that since I looked it up for myself first. So is with the whole house sign system as a Scorpio rising, this transit of the Mars is in my eighth house because Mars is in Gemini right now, communication. So wherever Gemini is in your chart, that's where the Mars is going to be in communication, action, communication. Okay. And Venus is in my fifth house in Pisces, where she's being exalted, love, romance, beauty, the pleasures of life, the pleasures of wonderful chili. Okay. So this square in that, the Pisces can bring challenging energy to the relationships. Venus in Pisces can bring challenging energy to the relationships and financial matters. And the placement of Mars can suggest a potential conflict and tension in the personal romantic relationships. Well, I had that in the chili thing. That was for sure. That was just a moment of pleasure between me and the chili bean man. Okay. As well as financial dealings. This transit can also indicate a need for balance, assertiveness, and desire of freedom and stability. Okay, so let me find the rest of these. Sagittarius. So it's going to be in your seventh house, Mars is, and Venus is going to be in your fourth house. So the transit can bring up challenges in relationships and home life. And it may be difficult to balance your personal needs with the needs of others. But this can be a time for growth and learning within the relationship. Capricorn rising, sun, moon. Mars is in your sixth and Venus is in your third house. When it's a square, it's not square like this. It's a 50-degree angle in the chart. There's like a 90, I'm sorry, a 90-degree right angle in the chart is where they're at. Okay. And then for whatever reason, they call that a square in astrology. And I have had people try to argue with me about that. I didn't make up any of those. It was made up a long time ago before I was born, but probably another lifetime I might have had something to do with the committee that made up astrology. I don't know. Okay. So Capricorn, it's in your sixth house. The Mars is, and Venus is in your third house. So this transit could bring out the conflict or tension in work or health-related matters and communication in relationships. And it may be necessary to find balance between self-care and serving others. Serving others in relationships, serve yourself. Okay, Aquarius rising. Mars is in fifth, Venus is in second. This transit can bring tension in the creative self-expression and financial matters that may be important to find balance between personal enjoyment and financial stability. Pisces rising, sun and moon. Mars is in your fourth, Venus is in the first. This transit can bring challenges in the home and family life, as well as self-esteem. It may be necessary to balance personal desires and family responsibilities. Okay. Aries rising, sun and moon. Mars is in the third house and Venus is in the 12th house. So this transit may bring conflict of communication, hidden desires, and it may be important to be honest with oneself and others about what one truly wants. Okay. Taurus rising at moon and sun and moon, whichever one, it doesn't really matter. Some people like their icing underneath their cake. Okay. Mars in the second house and Venus is in the 11th house. This transit can create tension and personal values, social connections, and it may be necessary to balance the individual needs with community involvement. Gemini, rising, sun, and moon, Mars in the first house, Venus in the 10th. Is that right? Okay. This transit can bring challenges in personal identity, professional relationships. It can bring important, it can be shit. I'm sorry. It can be important to find balance between individuality and the desire for recognition. So this is like that tension. This, what I'm telling you all is where the tension points may be in your relationships, the flavor of all of it. Who did I just do? Okay. Cancer rising. Sun and Moon. Mars, 12th house, Venus is in the ninth house. This transit can bring conflict and hidden motivations. I wonder if that lady was a Cancer. If oh no, and higher learning. Well, maybe she got higher learning from the whole bean situation. That I didn't really want her, the rooster in the bean house, or his beans. This transit can bring conflict and hidden motivations, higher learning. It may be important to understand one's true desires and beliefs. My true desire was just to find beans, okay? And I really didn't have attachment if they were chili beans or not. Okay, Leo rising. Mars is in the 11th house and Venus is in the 8th house. So this transit can create tension in social connections and tensions in relationships. And it may be necessary to find balance between friendship and intimacy. Virgo, rising, sun, and moon. Mars is in the 10th, Venus is in the 7th. This transit can bring challenges in professional relationships and partnerships. It may also be important to balance personal ambition with relationship needs. Libra, rising, sun, and moon. Mars is in your ninth, Venus is in your sixth. The transit may bring conflict in beliefs and work related matters, and it can be necessary to balance intellectual smarty pants pursuits with daily routines. Scorpio rising. Mars is in the 8th house and Venus is in the 5th house. Oh, I already did Scorpio. I started with it. Well, I can remind us. This transit can bring challenges in intense relationships and creativity. It can be, oh, see, I was being creative with my chili. It may be important to balance the need of depth and passion with the desire of self expression. I think that was a little bit different than the first one. That's right. That's exactly what was happening. I was being self expressive with what I wanted in my chili. Okay. So that's what's going on. So, people, I'm telling you, there's going to be some power struggles. We're going to see it. I saw today on YouTube some 60-year-old man got killed at an 8th grade basketball game. He died afterwards, but they all got in a fight at an 8th grade basketball game, you all, 8th graders. All the parents got in a big brawl, and then the man dropped dead after he left from there. I'm talking about that kind of stuff. Okay, they don't know where Mars. That's when it's out of balance. It's out of balance, and when it is balanced, like this gentleman today that was in his divine masculine with his Mars in Gemini, communicating with me to help me in the bean aisle. Okay, and I was exalted in Venus and I must have been glowing, I'm sure I was, and I was all illuminated, and he just wanted to help me. That's all he was doing. He was just sharing his great find of where the beans were. That's when it's balanced and there's like no attachment to receiving the information. Okay. So, thank you all. Thank you so much for being the gift that you are to humanity. Enjoy this time period in the balance and even the tension and see what you can do in your own creative recipe. How do you spice it up? How do you cool it down? What do you do in the energies when you notice this in this time period? I just kept saying, well, bless your heart, honey. I'm so glad you made chili for the church. I recognized her in her service that she did. And then she calmed down and she told me to have a great day after I thought she was already going to flog both of us. I'm not kidding. It was funny as hell. It was hysterical. Had just got through, I had just been writing this and I was like, okay, I got to create a thing, go live, all that. And I was like, screw it. I'm just going to push a button and talk about this experience today because I went out in the public and experienced what this energy is. So that's what the transit is all about. And it's only once a year that it happens. So brace yourself. And with this big illumination of this moon and Leo that's just going to be bringing up the fire for people to roar. So drop into what that is. If you feel that roar, then what is it truly? What is the passion within you that wants to be expressed into creativity as a gift that you are in this world? Okay. Kimberly with Celestial Juju, please, if you feel the passion and communication of exalting my Venus, do like, share, and subscribes, and I'll come on here more and enlighten you with who knows, maybe next week I'll be in the tomato aisle. You just never know, or the hot peppers. I could have a whole nother experience to share with you all, and I hate for you all to miss out on that. Maybe I'll start doing some recipes too. Okay, these are recipes to life and how to make it as a human embodied on this planet. Bless you. May you be blessed with all you do. Bye.